Millions of Americans, meanwhile, are stuck at home trying to stop the spread of the coronavirus, as they've been told to, and desperate for professional sports to resume. But how Major League Baseball and the NBA can do this safely remains a very big question. We are so happy to be joined by Bob Costas, a Hall of Fame broadcaster who is now a host and play-by-play announcer for the MLB network. I can tell you, in our house, we are watching reruns of the World Series because we miss baseball so much. And the other night, watched a league of our own because we miss baseball, and Tom Hanks saying there's no crying in baseball. So tell us what we can do and how can this be done safely?
Well, first of all, this is my homage to the Jackie Robinson-era Brooklyn Dodgers. I don't think it brings baseball back, but at least it reminds us. And I apologize for the makeshift situation here. The Wi-Fi's down in my house, and this is the best that we can do. But in any case, everything comes back to... Any
Bob Costas is better than no Bob Costas. So,
all right, I appreciate that.
Being with us.
Everything comes back in some sense to COVID-19 these days, and that includes sports. The NBA would like to finish its season. Theoretically, I don't know exactly what plan they'll land on, but the NBA and the NHL could say, we'll just seed the playoffs based upon where the regular season was suspended, go straight into the playoffs and get it done in relatively short order. The NHL has talked about North Dakota. The NBA could isolate in one place and take care of it fairly quickly. Baseball needs to play a minimum number of games to have a valid regular season. So there are various plans being floated, and I won't bore you with the details, but none of it can happen unless and until they're certain that public health has been taken properly into account. And also, this is important, that the athletes, the team owners, everybody involved hasn't jumped the queue when it comes to testing and other aspects of this, while other members of society who may need it more are still waiting for it. And they're sensitive to that. So there's a public relations aspect, there's a public health aspect, and then there's a baseball aspect. How many games are necessary to have a valid regular season, and what kind of postseason format can we come up with just for this year only so that we have some sort of championship?
So if there were 100 games, let's say, and they were played, it's been suggested someplace in Arizona to minimize the travel, the distances, without fans, but with television, could something like that be valid? And how would their stats match against a history of baseball statistics?
Well, the season would have an asterisk next to it. It would be understood. Yeah. Maybe they'd crown a batting champion, but if in a compressed number of games someone managed to hit 400 in half a season, no one's going to say they duplicated what Ted Williams did in 1941. I think they'd have to play around 80 regular season games, which would be about half, and then proceed into the postseason. There was one plan that started out with Arizona, because you have spring training facilities there. But think of the searing heat in the summertime in Arizona. Then there was Arizona and Florida. You got heat and humidity there. Then Texas was thrown into the mix. There's one plan apparently being tossed around. I don't know which of them are at the top of the list, but one now where all 30 teams would play out of their home cities because it's difficult to quarantine these people for that long a period of time. They're young adults with young families in many cases. So they'd play in their hometowns, but they wouldn't play in their normal divisions. You'd rearrange them geographically. 10 teams for 3 divisions, East, Central, and West. So the Yankees and Mets would be in the same division. The Dodgers and Angels would wind up just for this period of time in the same division. You'd only play games within your own division, minimizing the travel. At least at the outset, there would be no fans. And then they would play some kind of postseason. And the idea would be, at least they're playing it for television. They're collecting some television revenue. People would watch it and accept it under these unusual circumstances. And you'd have something rather than what we have now, which is just waiting around.
Well, even Tony Fauci has been doing, he did an interview with Ryan Zimmerman. And we know that he's a big baseball fan, and also was a high school star basketball athlete.
Yes.
Against Fordham Prep. So who knows? But obviously, public safety is the most important thing, but we don't, particularly, I miss baseball. And thank you.
Yeah, so we all do.
Rigging.
Yeah. This is not being sent to the Broadcasting Hall of Fame.
Well, it's the AMR Hall of Fame. It'll have to do. Bob Costas, thank you very much for being with us today.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.